Hello, everybody. Let's get you up on screen. Hello, chat. How's it going? James is here. Con Warlock is here. Appreciate you all. Oh, you know what I should do is I should tell my little chat thing to not include stream elements. That's a thing for the future. Hey, before we get started for today, I wanted to say, first of all, I have a new updated little sub counter for Twitch. If you're following me over on Twitch, what's up, Frozen Martian? What's going on? This should work now in real time. I had it built weirdly last time with the streaming software I use. Now it is Streamlabs, which are the same as the alerts that I use. So hopefully it should update in more real time. I did some custom tweaking with the very limited coding knowledge that I know, just to make it have rounded corners and sort of look like it's in place. It's just this part, though. This is the only thing. The background little, rectangle is just a rectangle. I didn't code that. That's just a rectangle. So hopefully it works in real time. TD Productions, what was the starting music? I've got a couple of them. I actually have them loaded onto my soundboard, which is a great transition. This is it was a sound pack from, I think it's called Videos Change Reality. So their initials were VCR, and it's a company. I haven't looked at them in a while. It's a company I used to buy a lot of assets from a couple of years ago, and their whole thing was they wanted to make very old school sounding assets for music and sound effects and visuals. So I have a lot because it really fits in with my whole vibe of talking about old nostalgic cartoons and old comic books and things like that. So just that sort of nostalgic feel. Let's see. I've got a couple of them on my soundboard. Let's see if we can play them. Yeah, this one is called Bluebirds. So if you like that, that's a part of it. They also have, this one is called Elevator Lounge. Sorry. I like this one a lot. It does sort of sound like hold music, pause music, maybe thinking music. Just, interesting. So some of these I'll use in my videos. Mostly, honestly, can I tell you? Most of the time, if you hear these in my videos, I do them for the ad reads. They just sound like ad read music to me. This is So anyway, I wanted to talk more about this, but you can find that over on my streaming service, Nebula, nebula.tv. It just sounds like ad read music. Similar to this one, I'm trying to play this one more on stream whenever we solve one of our daily games, because it sounds very victorious. I can't help but wave my arms in the air like this. So anyway, those are the four that I have on my soundboard. They have tons that I have downloaded years ago. I've used them in my videos for a while. All of their video and audio stuff. A lot of their sound effects I've used a bunch. And a lot of their visuals I've used a bunch. So I've used a lot of their stuff. DeGray, how you doing? We're doing good. Speaking of the soundboard, I have brand new sounds for the soundboard, which I know is either going to be very exciting to some people or truly annoying to some people. We'll get into that in a bit, but what do you guys say we do the contexto for the day? Is anyone interested in the contexto for today? I am. So if you all, hopefully some of you are here who have played this before. Also, I just want to say before we get started, I'll get back to this. Before we get started, I know last time I was asking for daycare help, and that still is the, something that we're looking for. Because we got a good amount last time, even though the goal says 25 and it's at 12 right now, even though we got a good amount, we were able to start looking into not necessarily daycare, but for extremely part-time. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera as much as I should be. There we go. It's mostly because this is in my way and I'm trying to frame myself better. Anyway, we started looking into not necessarily daycare. Oh, and let's get the stream music going as well. You can tell I'm trying to get better at this streaming stuff. But where's that coming through at? There it is. Yeah, you guys should be able to hear that. It's a little quiet. Anyway, we started looking into not daycare, but an extremely part-time nanny. We're talking 4 hours a week. And so we had the nanny come over. Today was the first day. 4 hours, 4 hours in one sitting, once a week. It's what we can afford right now, thanks to your support. I really appreciate that. And so we were able to do that, and it was extremely helpful. I was able to work on a video for 4 hours. Do you know how often it is I get 4 hours to work on a video? Hardly ever, since my beautiful baby boy was born, and I love him so much. But yeah. Who are you and how am I going to block you? We are going to ban you for promoting stuff. Anyway. I'm doing good, everyone. So I just say all of that to say thank you to everyone who subscribed to me on Twitch. It really helps. I appreciate it. I know. Still, most of you are watching on YouTube, and that's totally chill. It's totally cool. That helps as well. Supporting on Patreon helps as well. I don't know if there's a way to link all that stuff together so I can just, thanks to all my supporters. But for right now, we got Twitch subs, and that's awesome. So anyway, let's play the contexto, and we'll get more into the soundboard in a bit. You tried to contexto on my own the other day, and I immediately gave up because it was so hard. I got my brother into this game recently, and because he's a big daily game sort of thing. Also, I should say, if you haven't seen the title of the stream, we found Ben Shapiro's Supergirl review. And that's definitely not clickbait. It's totally clickbait. But it'll be a fun stream. It'll be a fun stream regardless. We will talk about Ben Shapiro and Supergirl. In fact, I didn't plan for this, but would you all want to hear my Supergirl review on stream? I have thoughts, and we can talk about it, and we can change it into a spoiler stream, but not right now. No one spoil anything now. But we could talk about that. Could be fun. Let's play Contexto. Someone give me a word. If you're new to this game, how it works is we're just trying to find the secret word of the day. It could be anything. It could be a noun. It could be a verb. It could be an adjective. It could be anything except a proper noun. So no names of places or people or anything like that. And they're single words only. The way we find out is by guessing other words. And it'll tell us how close we are, how close our guess is in relation to the actual word. So it can be just throw out any word, give me a word. I'm ready for it. And again, as I always say, I know it's probably annoying to hear me say, go over to Twitch and watch instead. But the latency is faster on Twitch if you're trying to get in with these daily games. So that's all I can say. Bubblegum is a good first word. Why not? For some reason, my first word is always dog. And that was pretty close today. Whoa. So as you can see, the secret word is close to closer to dog, much closer to dog than it is bubblegum. So that'll be fun. I got my brother into this game the other day, as I was saying, and there was one, what was it? There was one the other day where the word, this annoyed me so much. So he was stuck because he found the word mint. We both found the word mint. That wasn't the word, but it was very close. Hey, Con Warlock, thank you for the follow. Appreciate ya. It was the word, we both found the word mint, which was close. And so he kept guessing things like, you know, like tea or other like herbs or, you know, stuff like that. And it was taking him forever to understand, to like sort of break through, like, what is it that we're trying to guess? And it was only totally on accident that I started, not really on accident, I guess I was just on a different wavelength than my brother, but I started thinking of mint in terms of, like medicinal things. And that was the thing that unlocked it, because the word was lozenge. Who thinks of the word lozenge? That one sucked. Jackson Reese, is it how close in letters or how close in concept? It is how close in concept it is. So dog is pretty close. This won't be it, but this was a word a couple weeks ago. Fang, not very close. So probably nothing like bite, even though bite is related to dog. Could be like walk. Nope, not walk is not very close. Dog is still out. I mean, let's just try other animals, right? Let's just be like pet. Pet is very close. Yeah, we got to do cat, right? I agree. Pet is good. Treat. Okay, collar. These are all good. No, collar was not good, apparently. Pet is still the best. Treat. I mean, do we just guess other pets? Fish? No. Parrot? No. So probably not bird then. Pet. Pet. Is pet store one word? No. I moved from YouTube to Twitch. Let's go. I appreciate it. Pet, cat, dog, treat. Remember that one day we got this in under 10 guesses? How did we do that? When I played this on my own, it would take me like 50 to 100 tries sometimes. I think I'm averaging around 30 these days, but gosh, it's so difficult. Pet, cat. I also, like, my brother is like the one who's like, I want to get it in as few as guesses as possible. And I'm like, I'm just going to throw spaghetti at the wall. Spaghetti. Nope. But you all were impressed that I spelled that correctly first try. I can tell. I can tell. I can always tell. Combinations like pet insurance are not allowed. That's correct. It's only one word, single word phrases. So pet insurance. I don't think I spelled insurance correctly. I don't know. Yep, just type just one word, it says. Baby. Oh! Like my beautiful baby boy. Boy? Boy is close. Baby is close. Infant? Infant is very close. Newborn? So good. We got it in 15 guesses and it's thematic. It's thematic for my beautiful baby boy who's not home right now. He's being watched by his grandparents. So that's good. Well done, everyone. Oh, I forgot to hit the button. Sorry, I forgot to hit the button. The button's supposed to do this. That's our victory song. Let me walk you through some of the soundboard changes. This will be fun for me and no one else. Oh, also, I feel like ever since becoming a parent, I don't feel like I've had my ADHD like in full swing as it is today. I feel like I am bouncing all over the place. And maybe it's just because I'm excited that I actually get to work. This is like my first like full day of work on a weekday that I've had in like a long time, where I don't like feel guilty. Because sometimes, you know, Emily will say, I'll watch him, you go work. And then I'll like hear him, I'll hear our baby boy cry upstairs, and I'll be like, well, I want to help Emily. I don't want to just be down here and like working away, and if she needs my help. And then we got a nanny for 4 hours, and I was like, well, we're paying this person. So if they need help, they can come get me. And now he's at his grandparents' house, so he's not even here. There's nothing I can do. So this is like my first full day. It's awesome. Anyway, I was going to say, before we talk about the soundboard stuff, let me know what you guys think about it. I am drinking a very nice, fridge cigarette, which is, I know it's been a thing, but I only tried it for the first time last week. If you're not familiar, it is Diet Coke, a shot of espresso, and a little bit of creamer or cream. I did a little bit of coffee creamer. It tastes so good. It tastes, and I mean this positively. I'm going to move my microphone closer to me. It tastes, and I mean this positively, it tastes like a diner. Not it tastes like something you would get at a diner. It tastes like a diner. And again, I mean this positively. It is incredible. I've been having one a day. And I haven't even had that much of this one. So you're like, oh, maybe you're bouncing all over the place because you're having so much caffeine. No. I barely had any of this yet. But we're doing good. It sounds disgusting. Give me. That's what I'm saying. Something I want to do for you Twitch viewers who want to redeem channel points and whatnot. Something that I would like to do as we talk about this soundboard stuff is give you the opportunity to redeem channel points for a press of whatever soundboard button you want, or any combo that you want, perhaps. And I think that'll be fun. I love the soundboard. I use it for my podcast all the time. If you're not subscribed to my podcast, it's probably not Aliens. Find it wherever you get any podcasts. Me and my buddy Tristan debunk ancient aliens and ancient astronaut theory, and we do it like every week, basically. It's been awesome. We haven't recorded the last 2 weeks because Tristan has had like either personal stuff or holidays. It was Canada Day this week, so yesterday, 2 days ago. All right, soundboard stuff. So I almost replaced this. I'll just walk you through my whole soundboard. I almost replaced this, but because I don't use it very often. But then I remembered that we do use it every week to sync up our audio, which is just a very simple little bell ding. It's just a little bell ding. I made it shorter. I actually don't like how it sounds shorter. I like how it rings out longer. It's sort of the fade out is a little abrupt. Anyway, with your ADHD, what effect does caffeine have on you? Because I met a few ADHD people that are not affected at all, like me, and some get sleepy from caffeine. I get sleepy from caffeine. I do that. Yeah, I don't feel feel like I get active. The only time that I get like jittery, and I've been doing this more on stream. This is just my wrist rest, and I've been using it to like point at my camera. The only time I feel like jittery or something from caffeine is if I also take my Adderall with caffeine. And so I don't do that. Or just Adderall specifically in general just makes me jittery. I always have to take it with like, I pair it like with my anxiety medication because the Adderall will like make me want to do stuff and like make me shake a little bit. And then the anxiety medication is sort of just like, no, don't do anything. That was weird. That was muted. Bum. I just hit a button on my computer. Is my audio still okay? I hope it's still okay. If it sounds weird, let me know. But, you sound fine? Okay. Okay, that's fine. For some reason, my computer said my microphone was muted, so I unmuted it, and I was just making sure that it wasn't like feeding you guys 2 different feeds of my microphone or anything. All right, so bell ding, we don't use that for much. We use it to sync up our audio. Tristan puts his headphones over the microphone on his end, and then I hit the bell ding, and it helps the editor sync things up. Anyway, then we have our classic air horn. We love that. We love the air horn, where that's not going anywhere. Caffeine makes me so sleepy. I was staying at a friend's recently, and they were so confused why I ran to the gas station to buy iced coffee at night because I couldn't sleep. I don't know if it. I don't know if it makes me sleepy at night. I think the caffeine effects like prevent me from like it'll make me drowsy. That's what I'll say. Caffeine makes me drowsy, but if it can sometimes also just like prevent me from actually drifting off to sleep. And that's like sort of the worst part of it. It's like I want to sleep, but I can't. That sucks. Anyway, drum roll we've had for a while. God, it goes on for so long. But I haven't used it for much. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll keep it. Maybe we'll replace it with something. But those are like the main 3 that I haven't changed in a really long time. I used to have a rim shot sound effect, that came like preloaded on this thing. I use that sometimes, but I replaced it with something else that I think is much better than a rim shot. So if I tell a joke, what does a nosy pepper do? It gets jalapeno business. So that also does go on for a while. And I trimmed it down, too. I just thought it was funny. Twitch ad breaks are so long. I'm sorry. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. This is a classic I've had on the soundboard for a while. I need to use it more. I should use it, but I should hit that button whenever we switch between subjects. Whenever we switch between, we're playing Contexto, then I'm talking about something else. So remind me to do that. We're going to transition into talking about Ben Shapiro's Supergirl review, and when we do that, I'm going to go. And that'll be fun. If I was good at streaming, I would actually have that spin my camera and whatnot and act as an actual transition. I'm not good. I'm still learning. Oh, yeah. I'm not good at streaming. That's a classic Price is Right sound. I've had that for a while. I like that one. What else? I've had this on the podcast as well. Anytime I talk about something I don't like. I use it as the same as I do the air horn. But air horn is great. And I also added the oof. Oof is good. Gotta have oof. Oof is very good. I thought I made it so that Nightbot wouldn't show up on the screen. Oh, it says Nightbow. There we go. I'm an idiot. I'm probably gonna have to change that for everything now, but whatever. All right. And then, so that's what I've got on my first 8. Then we've got It's Probably Not Alien stuff, all the music that we use. I don't know if you guys know this. We actually play the music in real time as we record. Not the intro necessarily, because we have to edit that as if we were just in the middle of a conversation. But when Tristan and I throw to products and services, when Tristan and I go, we're going to do an ad break. Are you interested in products? Are you interested in services? All of that good stuff. We actually do hit the little that's our little thing. We hit that. Oh yeah, and then whenever we talk about the claim, Millions of people around the world believe. Hey, not Daredevil. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. And then what else? Oh yeah, then we've got the Tristan Makes You Sad music. That's a classic. And then the What Can You Do About It music. I just got a text from my wife saying she might pop in the chat. Very supportive. She's working. What else? Okay. And then, oh yeah, a classic.
We're struggling.
Giorgio Tsoukalos saying we're struggling. I could use that anytime I want. I could pair We're Struggling with Oof.
We're struggling.
You know what I mean? Or the other way around.
We're struggling.
Yeah. When are we not struggling? That's a good point. And then, of course,
The answer is yes.
the answer is yes. That's one of my favorites. I don't use it enough.
The answer is yes.
I don't have Treasure. Treasure is a sound effect that does pop up occasionally if someone, I think, subscribes or gifts subs on Twitch. Treasure Fred will say Treasure. Oh yeah, and then of course a classic.
How do you move it?
How do you move it? And the last one for It's Probably Not Aliens.
What if it were true?
What if it were true? What if it were true? I need to hit that more often than I do. That's a really good one. Whenever we take another guess in Contexto.
What if it were true?
That's good. We'll play the Jeff Goldblum one after this, and then we'll see. We've got some eerie strings. We've got the Among Us sound. We've got that. We do have dramatic fart. And then just because we've needed it occasionally, I do also just have the fart all by itself. A classic. We have Christopher Nolan. Some of these I need to like level better because some of them are like quite loud while the other ones are. The dramatic fart we can make we can drop by a couple decibels. How about that? Maybe like negative 18 instead of negative 12. Let's see. That's a little better. Oh, then of course along with that, we've got Vine Boom. That's new. I added that. This is just sort of maybe I have too many because I'm going to forget about all these, but they're fun right now. Metal Gear Solid. I told you last time I was gonna put a Tim Allen grunt on here. And I did. Then I've got just all of my sound effects. I really like when I go, huh? Or no, was it this one? Huh? Wait, huh? Huh? What? Wait, isn't it supposed to echo? Where is it? It's supposed to like echo differently. It's supposed to make hello. Okay, this is good, but then I need this on. What? There it is. All right. That's what I like. I like when I just look at a camera and I go, huh? What? Very fun for me. All right. And then that's basically everything. We've got other stuff from It's Probably Not Aliens that hasn't aired yet, so I'm not going to throw those on there. And then the music that I did earlier. Which one is your favorite? What I really should do is put all of the oof and bork and put all of those together on one sound pad so I don't have to go a couple places to find it. So sorry if that was weird, but Anyway. That's fun. That Echo one must be based on those TikToks of that lady being confused. I don't know. I'm not on TikTok. I just thought it was funny. I did it once and I thought it was funny. Huh? What? Favorite is hard to say. Oh, wait, is it the one where with like Gwyneth Paltrow being like, I substitute instead of dairy, I use arugula, and the person's like, what are you saying? I'm sorry? It's good stuff. All right, let's play one more little daily game, and then we'll jump into Ben Shapiro really quickly. I know, everyone just wants to get to the meat of it. No one really cares about me or my feelings. No, this one's fine. That's fair. Let's play Jeff Goldblum. 90% of the time, the answer is Jeff Goldblum. 10% of the time, it is not. What do you guys think? The way that I like to play this game with you all, hit me with a 12-letter word. Hit me with another 12-letter word. Any 12-letter word that isn't Jeff Goldblum, hit me with it. Has to be a real word. Has to be a real word. And we'll see. Do you think it's going to be Jeff Goldblum today? Good question. Let's get the music back on. Oh, wait. The music was on. I just muted it. There we go. Can anyone even think of a 12-letter word? It's difficult. But I'm prepared to wait. Calibrations. That's good. It's looking like it might be Jeff Goldblum today. Because Jeff Goldblum doesn't have any C's, A's, I's, R's, T's, N's, or S's. I think it is Jeff Goldblum. Fabulousness. I think we did this one not yesterday, but the last time I streamed. Fabulousness.
What if it were true?
No. Jeff. G-O. Yeah, I think it's Jeff Goldblum. It's going to be bad one day when it's not Jeff Goldblum and we throw away one of our first guesses with something that's not helpful. Although I guess Jeff Goldblum wouldn't necessarily be helpful either. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, we're doing good here. Okay. Well, we have a couple other games we can play at the end of the stream if you stick it out with me. I have a story to tell you that will lead into the whole thing with Ben Shapiro. So, basically, I made a video debunking, or not really debunking, dunking on Ben Shapiro's Wake Up Dead Man review. All the way back in January is when I filmed it. Now, I got very drunk for that because I got drunk for my Superman video, you see. I got drunk for my Superman video where I dunked on him, and that got like over 1 million views. It's got like 1.5 million views. It's awesome. So I got drunk for that, and I thought, well, I'm going to replicate success. I'm going to get even drunker to dunk on him for Wake Up Dead Man. And I got so drunk on an empty stomach that I completely blacked out. I have no recollection of what I said. And then I sent it off to an editor, and that editor said, hey, this is unusable. He was much more polite about it than that. I basically was like, is this usable? And he said, it is usable, except it will be a lot of work to make it usable. So then I said, fine, I will film it again, but this time sober. And all of this was obviously before my little baby boy was born. So I went back a couple months later after we had our beautiful baby Button, which, by the way, Button, if you're new here, is not the baby's real name. That is a name that I'm allowing myself and anyone else to use online. It's the name that we called him, like, while Emily was still pregnant, and we didn't have a real name, like an actual name for him yet. Button is a middle name. Got it. I don't think Emily would have allowed that. It's a cute name, though. So I was like, well, if I'm going to film this again, I'm going to do it sober, number one, so that's usable. Number two, it's because I'm a dad now. I got to be responsible. So I went back and filmed that, and that will come out in the next couple of days, which I'm very excited about, even though no one's talking about Wake Up Dead Man anymore. But in that video, my second time filming it, I was like, I'm going to predict Ben Shapiro's Supergirl review. And in that video, I said, he's going to call it woke feminist garbage, and then he's going to say, but I like Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa was fun. That is what I predicted Ben Shapiro's Supergirl review to be. And the reason I said in that video, I think the live stream is still up on my YouTube channel. I said in that live stream, I said, the reason I know that is because Ben Shapiro doesn't watch movies then review them. He reviews them in his head already, and then he watches them and tries to use the movie to point to his already made up decision, his already made up opinion. That's what Ben Shapiro does. That's how he reviews movies. Is he has the headline, he has the title of the video that he wants to do, he has the opinions, he has the agenda that he wants to get across, and then he'll watch the movie and pick it apart and say, see how it really supports my point of view, even though it doesn't. And we proved that when I debunked him on Superman. So I was expecting him to do that with Supergirl. And it turns out, as far as I know, he's not published a Supergirl review recently. It would be great if he did. I'd love to make money off of it. The Daily Wire is not doing so hot. I can't decide if that's an air horn moment or an oof moment. The Daily Wire isn't doing so hot. It's a little bit of both. So I don't think he's up to reviewing movies anymore. So now, but I will say, my wife Emily said, she's doing her due diligence. She said, I'm going to search to make sure, to double check, to see if Ben Shapiro has a Supergirl review. And she did this today. And she did find something. She found this. An article from Palette Swap. Ben Shapiro's scathing Supergirl review accidentally published 7 months early. Now, here's the thing. Some of you might be familiar with this website. Now, Emily was not, and neither was I, to be fair. But we're all going to pretend like it's not a satirical parody website. And we are gonna, just for funsies, read it like it's real. Because this is basically exactly what I'm saying, what I said in my video. So, from Asterios Kokinos, from Palette Swap, all the way back in January 2026, in Nashville, that's where Ben Shapiro is located, I'm pretty sure. Ben Shapiro's scathing Supergirl review accidentally published 7 months early, which is, again, the joke that I had. He writes them ahead of time. Saying it made him want to super hurl on Friday, conservative influencer Ben Shapiro accidentally published a takedown of Supergirl over half a year before the film's release. Let's see if I can make this text a little bigger for you all. There we go. They needed to hire more professionals and less pronouns, said Ben Shapiro. I have to fade that out. No. It's just going to keep looping. I need to change that really quickly so that it's not a one shot, but rather a a toggle. A toggle, please. Thank you. Turn it off. There we go. Anyway. More professionals and less pronouns. All right. I said Shapiro. Thank you for the follow, Zai. In my moment of need for my soundboard. I agree. I'm actually very anti-noun. I don't get being pro-noun. Yeah, I'm a verb guy for sure. I'm actually I'm an adverb guy. Really, I'm an adverb guy. Mysteriously, I like adverbs. Surprisingly, big fan of adverbs over here. Cutting to a photo of the film's screenwriter, Anna Nogueira. It was a woke mess. Hey, liberals, here's your kryptonite. A job. All right. Mirrors of his now deleted review, more like not so Supergirl. Whatever happened to the men of tomorrow? Crudely dismantles the unreleased film, including calling the post-credits scene as predictable as a third-wave feminist's hair color. That one doesn't even deserve a Seinfeld button. That's so tired. Dyed hair and pronouns. We have to talk about Lobo, said Shapiro, who did not. Hold on, wait. We have to talk about Lobo, said Shapiro, who did not. Wikipedia calls him the main man, but he's more like the main bitch to Millie Alcock's Cara Zor-El's Mary Super Sue. Every guy in my theater hated it. Where's the gun control? Gun with 2 N's, like James Gunn. Shapiro's review, which ran 23 minutes longer than the film itself, was quickly taken down after its errant release, leading to widespread accusations of conservative censorship. Oh, it was taken down, not because I accidentally posted it. It's because the woke YouTube censors wanted me to take it down. Quote, YouTube needs to be investigated immediately, said House Speaker Mike Johnson in a press conference about the Venezuelan conflict. Gosh, remember when that was like the biggest story? Anyway, it's as bad as that last scene in Supergirl where she learns to believe in herself. Where's the justice? ... League, he added quickly. At press time, Shapiro has once again accidentally uploaded another review, this one titled Half-Life 3 Freedom Zero. Good stuff. I mean, I said this before. This is riffing on the same sort of joke as my own thing. Ben Shapiro's reviews are incredibly predictable. He goes into it with the things that he wants to say before he even watches the movie. And that's what this is riffing on. So props to Asterios Kokinos from Palette Swap, a website that I had not... Has anyone else heard of this website? I've not heard of this the internet. Gosh, the internet is so big out there. I haven't heard of this website, but it made Emily and I laugh a lot as we just sort of scrolled the headlines today. We were just sending headlines back and forth. How private equity is pricing neighborhood kids out of backyard baseball. So funny. Review, the groceries we bought after selling the steam machine Valve sent us. Very, very good. There was a couple other ones that I thought were quite good. Oh, Woody, Buzz, Jesse succumb to soulless, unmoving eternity after Bonnie's mom installs Nest indoor camera. Very good stuff. Ben Shapiro would never come up with something as remotely clever as gun control. True. Who cares about what Ben Shapiro has to say? He's a privileged Zionism douchebag. Agreed. But I will say, dunking on him pays the bills sometimes. At least it did once for me when I made a video that got 1.5 million views. So who cares? I care, just so I can make fun of him. But there is no post-credit scene. Can I tell you, actually, Emily and I were in theaters, and we should look ahead of time. I should make it a note to look ahead of time to see if any movie has a post-credit scene, not just a superhero movie, but to see if any movie has a post-credit scene. I got to get better at that. But what we ended up doing is, as the movie was, as the credits were rolling, we're like, should we stick around? Is there a post-credit scene? And Emily looked it up, and she found an article that was like, there's a reason to stay after the credits of Supergirl. And we're like, okay. And so Emily's like, click on it, gets 1 million ads, keeps scrolling, trying to find it. And it's that this person is like, the reason to stay after the credits is because the music during the credits is so good. And I'm like, first of all, that's not a reason to stay till after the credits. That's a reason to stay through the credits. So already wrong. And number two, what a shitty article to not answer the actual question that we were asking. What people were asking. Is there a scene after the credits? And the answer, of course, is no. There is not. But the music was good. I remarked that to Emily even before the credits ended. I was like, I really like Supergirl's score. Like the score, her theme, rather. I really liked Supergirl's theme. I thought it was very catchy. Big out there, but you are in there. You are internet. That's true. I am internet. You're correct. Let me check on the latency of YouTube, because it seemed like it's kind of fallen behind a little bit. Boop, boop, boop. I don't get YouTube sometimes. I don't get YouTube streaming sometimes. Man, Twitch is so much better at streaming. Have I said this a bunch? I know I have, but I'm happy about it. YouTube won't let me type Millie's last name. No way Ben could say it either. Millie Al, well, you wouldn't say C word. That's a different word. You had a buffering lag. Apologies. There's a little bit more score in the film. I agree with that. We can move on to... I'll change the stream title to be Supergirl review. And I guess I can change it on YouTube as well. All caps. Should we do a spoiler-free right now? And then spoilers in a bit? Let's do spoiler-free right now. And then we'll do spoilers in a bit. And we'll just talk about Supergirl. It buffered literally seconds after you apologized for it buffering. That's great. I love YouTube. So funny. Review. Movie review. Anyway. Update the title on Twitch, please. Did that work? Yep. And I'm going to do it on YouTube as well. Changing the title, Supergirl review, spoiler free. It's still going to have Ben Shapiro's face on the thumbnail. So that's going to confuse people. Anyway. It's still going to have it on there. Let's bring the chat up. How's it going, everyone? By the way, the latency on YouTube is like 3 seconds for me from typing my message to seeing it on your screen. Yeah, it's much faster on Twitch, for sure. I've heard from content creators that you have to be constantly streaming or uploading videos for the algorithm to promote a channel. That's fair. I don't think that's for YouTube or for Twitch. Because for Twitch, you can just tell someone. You can... I don't want to, like, break the... I don't know. This feels like... I'm new to Twitch. I just have a guy at Twitch who's like, if you have a stream that you want to promote, tell me and I'll put it on the platform. I'll put it on the front page. Now, I haven't done that yet because I don't have a stream that I'm like... But I assume if me being so new to it, I assume that's just like a lot of people have that. Maybe not everyone. I'm very privileged in that I have a YouTube following, so the Twitch people are like, you have an audience, bring them over to Twitch. So I get that they're trying to give special treatment in that regard. But I imagine a lot of other people have that. I can't imagine they're just giving it to me, Scott NerdSync, person who has 12 subscribers on Twitch. Hey, Tallies, thank you for the follow. Who knows how many followers? They have guys for new people. I will say this, YouTube does too. But I think YouTube's like, YouTube doesn't have it for new people. YouTube has it for like smaller channels. Although, you know what? Maybe they do. I'm speaking, I don't know. I genuinely don't know because I got my biggest following is still on YouTube. So I genuinely don't know if YouTube reaches out to like TikTok people or Twitch people and says like, hey, come over here, make YouTube content and we'll make it easy for you and we'll promote you and stuff. I don't know. They've never had to do that because I'm already trying to get most of my audience over to YouTube because that's where all my audience already is. Now I'm trying to at least bring some people over to Twitch. Hey, Alex. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. One of these days, here's my promise to you all. One of these days, I will finish this game on stream. Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights. We played for 12 hours the other day. This was like in January. We played for 12 hours in January, and we got 40% through the game. I will do this again. And when I do that, I'll schedule it, I'll make a big deal about it, and I will tell my Twitch guy to put me on the front page. Scott, is that the Bob Ross shirt you wore in that video? You're vibing hard today? It's not. This is a different shirt. This is my only linen shirt. It's so hot out. If I'm going to wear a button up, it's got to be linen, and I only have one. They did buy exclusivity from Ludwig when he was the biggest Twitch streamer. Fair. They have guys for new people. Oh, I already read that. Anyway, Supergirl review. Let's run a poll. Let's run a poll on everyone's. Oh, also people on Twitch, you got to remind me to do this. When we do the Contexto or the Jeff Goldblumel, I want to run predictions on the channels. I think you can gamble channel points, which are free. It's not real money, but I believe you can gamble channel points for predictions. I think that's how it works. All right, new poll. I'm going to run a poll on Twitch and YouTube. I'm just going to say, did you like Supergirl, and it's just going to be a very binary. Did you like it? Not did you love it? Did you at least like it? And we're going to say yes, no. I said it's a binary, but we're also going to say haven't seen it. Did you like Supergirl? Yes, no, haven't seen it. All right. Allow additional votes. You can use channel points to vote yes a bunch. We'll run it for like 10 minutes. Start poll. And we're going to open that up. And then I'll do the same for YouTube really quickly. Where's a poll? How do I do this? Sorry, all of my streaming stuff is down. Did you like Supergirl? Yes. No. Add option. Haven't seen it. Start poll. All right. Never be binary. Correct. Pride Month might be over. But never be binary. God, I don't have anything on my soundboard that's gay. This is the closest I have. And we forgot to even use it still when we're transitioning between topics. That's the gayest thing I have on my soundboard. I think. What else do I have? I know Tim Allen would say that's not gay. That's the straightest thing. I'm a very straight, the manly man. We grunt. I don't know, man. It's pretty gay. Pretty gay. Now it's Disability Pride Month. Hell yeah. Very enjoyed Supergirl. Did I have a favorite needle drop in Supergirl? Was it Modest Mouse? You know, I have a friend who's really, really into has always been really into Modest Mouse. Hey, Starky Moon, thank you for the follow. I honestly don't know. This is the difference between me and Ben Shapiro is that like I kind of do need to watch a movie like twice to really form my opinions and thoughts about it. Cause like the first time I'm just sort of watching for like, I'm just sort of watching, I'm experiencing it, you know, for the first time. And then the second time is where I'm like mentally taking notes and being like, oh, that's good. Oh, I like this part. And oh man, I really like this. And I understand that now a little bit better. So like, I like to watch things multiple times. And yeah, I would like to. I was actually kind of looking forward to dunking on Ben Shapiro's take of Supergirl because, like, I kind of wanted to watch it again. You just redeemed Stretch. Thank you so much. Tell me how to pronounce your name. Is it just Zai? Appreciate it. You won't watch a movie until I get the Scott's Nuance reviews? I don't review movies very often. You must be not watching a lot of movies. I just the other day, like last month, or no, it was earlier. Yeah, it was last month, but it wasn't a month ago, I don't think. Maybe close. Anyway, I just recently watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou for the first time. And here's my nuanced review of that. So good. Watch it now. I mean, wait till the stream. No, end the stream. You can leave the stream to watch our brother or art there. That's fine. I was telling Emily this the other day. I have been in the mood to watch Starship Troopers again because we live in an area where we've got this invasive insect called the oh no, why can't I remember what it's called? Emily would know. The spotted something. It's an invasive bug. A spotted lanternfly. It's invasive to our area, and every summer our local subreddit explodes with activity from people showing the pictures of the carnage they have of killing these spotted lanternflies. And it is like the most appropriate time to use that meme of like, I'm doing my part because we're just all killing bugs together as a big giant community, and it's awesome. Now, obviously, Starship Troopers is like, you know, it's all like military propaganda and colonialism and all that sort of stuff. But if you ignore all of that and just think about how fun it is to kill bugs, that's why I like playing Deep Rock Galactic Survivor on my phone. You just go and kill bugs. You're a little. Are you a no? No, not a troll. What are you? A dwarf? You're a dwarf. And you go and kill spotted lanternflies. And it's great. It's good fun. Let's see where we at on the polls really quickly. Most of the poll is haven't seen it, but if we ignore that, then on YouTube, it's pretty overwhelming that you like that most of you like Supergirl. The movie Out of Universe is very much not military propaganda, quite the opposite. Yeah. No, for sure. It's about like it's the not satire. Is it? It's like making fun of that aspect. What I mean to say is, in universe, as the bug killing people, you're not exactly the good guys, but in my universe, as the bug killing people, you are. That's what I'm trying to say. Parody, yeah, it's more. That's yeah. Parody, satire, that sort of stuff. All right. Let's check the Twitch really quickly as well to see how the Twitch poll is doing. Oop, is this losing power? No, it's connected to power. So I don't know what's wrong. And again, overwhelmingly on Twitch. In fact, no one on Twitch said no, that they didn't like Supergirl. So that's pretty good. Helldivers, another game where you kill bugs. Also true. There's a lot of bug killing. I think it's just one of those things. I think game designers and storytellers have all gotten together to realize, you know, it's not maybe the most fun to think about killing things that look like people, killing other like alien races that kind of look like people. So what if you kill alien bugs? What if that's what we do? And they're not wrong. Bugs are squishy, so they explode in very fun ways. They just make for interesting enemies because you can kind of make them look like whatever weird sort of buggy creature you want. Very fun. You don't have to worry if these bugs have hopes and dreams and a family. Because they're just bugs. Vampire Survivors 2. It's good stuff. Anyway, Supergirl. Spoiler-free review of Supergirl. My thought is... Oh, sorry. Now we're doing the review. My spoiler-free review of Supergirl is I also liked it. It makes no sense to me why, like, because what's the Rotten Tomatoes score? It's like quite low. And I know the reason. But it's weird that it comes from the critics. Right? It's weird that it's like the critic score and not just the fan score. Because I would totally get, if the fan score was like, hey, this is, people are being chuds and whatnot. Oh, my computer is dying. My computer is going all over the place. Okay. I think I'm back. Good Lord. Sorry about this. My computer is going nutso. I'm trying to fix it. Hang with me. I was back for but a moment. All right. I think I'm back. I think I'm back. Sorry about that. Let me know if I'm back. I should be back. I should be back. I hope I'm back. It seems back, some people are saying. Good Lord. That was truly awful. I don't know what was happening, but my stream my computer was just going nuts. By the way, Scott, congratulations on being a parent. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah. So here's what I was going to pull up, and we can look at it together. For some reason, interacting with my browser made it made it go bonkers. I was just going to pull up the Rotten Tomatoes score. Yeah. It feels like it's the opposite to me of what it should be. Because normally you'll see something like this. I can make it bigger for people, unless it doesn't want me to. There we go. It normally, right, the critics will be like, oh, it's fine, 70-something%, it's fine. And then the fans will be like, it's garbage because a woman starred in it, right? But this is like weirdly the opposite, where for some reason critics are like really mixed on this, in a way that I've like never seen. Because normally, you know, for at least for a high budget superhero movie, I mean, and then like the fans are just like, no, this is pretty good. So I don't know. It's very odd to me. I thought it was fine. I thought it was totally fine. You know, Emily, I apologize that the Twitch latency is so slow now as well. I don't know what happened to my computer just then. But I know Emily has been threatening to come on stream. She's like, let me live stream on your YouTube channel, on your Twitch channel, to say my thoughts about Supergirl. And I will let her. And maybe we'll do that next stream. We'll just be I Watch Baby and Emily streams about Supergirl. But yeah, I thought it's one of those things to try and replicate or sort of understand what Emily was saying. She was basically saying, in fact, I can. She posted on Blue Sky about it. Hey, Council of Geeks. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. We're talking about Supergirl now. I'm doing a spoiler-free review. I liked it. Did I love it? I loved Superman. I thought that was great. Supergirl, I liked it. I thought the issue that I've had with the issues that I have with Supergirl is that it is loosely based off of a comic book that is excellent. It's a comic book that is so good, and it just doesn't live up to that material. And so, like, for me, it's one of those things where why would you even sort of market yourself around this story of, like, we're adapting this comic book for a movie, And I know that maybe they didn't like say that specifically in like the marketing materials, but like, you know, people knew ahead of time what comic book this movie was based off of. And like, why would you do that if the story is so good in the comic and you're going to change so much of it? I know the director, is it Craig Gillespie, said that he didn't even read the comic book that the script was based off of. He wanted to just sort of make the script live on its own and you know, and do justice by the script and not like compare it to the comic book. But like everyone else is going to be comparing it to the comic book. I'm going to be comparing it to the comic book. The audience who have read the comic book are going to be comparing it to the comic book. People who have no idea that it's based off of a comic book are going to see a TikTok of someone saying it's based off of this comic book. And they're going to go, oh my gosh, well, I'm excited to see this comic book turn into a movie. And then you don't bother to read the comic book as the director because you're like, well, I didn't want to read it. I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to, you know, make that a part of my experience. I just wanted to do justice by this script. And it's like, I get where your head's at, but like everyone else is going to be comparing it to the comic book. It's such a weird choice to be like, I'm not even going to touch that. I think Emily, when I was talking to her about it, she sort of said it best of just like, it feels weird not to use all the tools in your tool belt. You know, it's sort of like it's like intentionally trying to, or intentionally like holding yourself back, you know? So that's very strange choice to me. I did see more ads for the Woman of Tomorrow comic than I've seen like any other comic ever. It was constantly an ad on YouTube. That's interesting. Because the comic, again, is very good. And we'll talk about the changes that they made from the comic to the movie a little bit, in just a little bit. This is just my spoiler-free section. We'll do more spoiler stuff in a bit. I think he read it after reading the script, but refused to read it before checking the script, so he was judging it in its own merit, though I could be wrong about that. That's fair. I think I saw a quote that was like, you know, he didn't even read it, but it could have just been an order of operations thing, as you're saying. Like I read the script first, wanted to do justice by this, and then read the comic afterwards. It could be that. He said he only flipped through the comic book to read through the art after. Interesting. This is like a thing that's going to come up in my videos in the for the foreseeable future, probably forever, and I know it's going to get annoying. All right? But I am a dad now, and every like piece of media that I've been watching or reading has really, like, I look at it all differently now through the lens of being a dad, and I know that's annoying. Oh, we get it, Scott. You have one child and you think about the world differently. We get it. But I'm just saying, when I read the comic book, there are certain moments in that even though the comic book is not about parenthood, there are parents in it. It's really more about just traumatic childhood. But that still plays into it because I'm now thinking of it from like that perspective. And, you know, Kara sort of becomes this, not necessarily surrogate parent, but rather like this sort of like, if I was a child again, is how she sees Ruthie, and like, what can I do to guide her through this trauma in a way that would, you know, not scar her forever. And like, there are moments in the comic book that are so unbelievably moving that like, as I was reading it and like, you know, lowering it down from these like incredibly touching panels and like seeing my beautiful baby boy, and just being like, I don't know, just being like, I want so much for you. And it's like, it's one of those really, it's so, it's so, heartbreaking at times. And so when you get to the movie and the movie just doesn't deliver on a lot of these moments, or really even it doesn't hit hard on the themes as well as I would like, then it gets a little, it's not frustrating. It just gets like disappointing. And so like, again, I like the movie. I think the problem is I love the comic. And I was really moved by the comic. And I'm less moved by the movie just like from a handful of like weird little changes. Should we just get into it? Please repeat after me, Scott. I'm coming at this from the perspective I have, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have to apologize for my being a parent impacting my thoughts. I know. I'm writing a script when Baby Button was born and I was on night duty. I had very brief moments to work, and in those times when I would work, I started writing a script because Emily, some fun thing that we do that I'm sure that all couples do, or all friends do, all relationships do this, where one person has like a piece of media that is really important to them growing up, and the other person hasn't seen it. So you sort of trade and go, oh my gosh, you haven't seen this movie? We got to watch it together. And so we started watching movies that we haven't seen in a very long time, but were important to us growing up. So for Emily, it's like really good movies, like critically acclaimed movies from like auteur directors. And like for me, it's like, have you seen League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? Have you seen Sean Connery's last jaunt about as a movie star? Have you seen Hellboy? And so we were watching Hellboy. Have you seen Three Ninjas? So we were watching Hellboy, which Emily hadn't seen. And I was like, we're going to do the, first movie. The first movie's good. But we're going to get to the second movie. And the second movie is peak. The second movie is cinema. All right? Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. So good. And there's a subplot in that where Hellboy learns that he's becoming a father. And this was, at the time, Emily was still pregnant, I believe. We were watching this movie. And he says this line that I am now writing an entire video about, a 3-word line, which is Hellboy, when he learns that he and Liz are going to have a kid, spoilers, they're going to have 2 kids. When he learns that he's gonna have a kid, he says the very weirdly delivered line. Hellboy is an acclaimed movie by an auteur director. You got me. You got my ass. You're right. I love Del Toro. So he says this very weirdly delivered line. In my opinion, it's weirdly delivered. It always has been, but now I understand it. He says, I become father. Now, Hellboy doesn't talk like that, right? He's kind of like crude and crass and short, and so like for him to just say this like weirdly, he's like poetic way of saying like, oh, we're going to have a kid. Oh, I'm going to be a dad. He says, I become father. Was always so weird to me growing up. And then after having a kid, or after like knowing that we're going to have a kid, I was like, I get it now. I'm going to write a whole video about this. I'm going to write a video about a 3-word line delivery. So I'm in the process of doing that. We'll see if I get around to it. Anyway, why did I bring this up? Oh, just because we were talking about parenthood and like all the perspective of like how I see media now is changing because I have a child. Scott, your bias is for the 84 Supergirl is showing. I've not seen it. Should I? Maybe I should. Oh, this is also broken. This should say, does this say Nightbow as well? Yeah, Nightbot. Get out of here. All right. I'll now be asking in a comment of every future video, Hellboy become father video when? I have so many videos. Like, do you know how many people are like, hey, Scott, when are you going to release that video about about licensed cookbooks that you teased like 3 years ago. Hey, Scott, when are you going to release more old 1960s Marvel cartoons videos? I'll get around to it. I just have to have time first. I have to have time. I have to have time first to work on stuff. I need time somehow. Supergirl Part 2 1. All right, let's get into the spoilery stuff. If you have to leave, I understand. I'm changing the title of the stream to now Supergirl Review Spoilers with 3 exclamation points. All right, if you gotta leave, I understand. Just tell me, just say something nice on the way out. Or tell me your favorite 3 ninja. Would you be Rocky, Colt, or Tum Tum? Those are your 2 options. You have to say something nice, or you have to tell me if you're Rocky, Colt, or Tum Tum. You cannot leave the stream unless you say something nice, or you tell me if you're Rocky, Colt, or Tum Tum. Those are the rules. I would say I don't make them up, but I do, and I did, and you watched me do it. $54 is technically in the positive. You're correct. That's your nice thing. I meant a nice thing about me, but all right. I'll take it. It's all right. Take your time with the 60s Marvel shows video. I'm not opposed to a voice quote. I'll do it. I'll do it eventually. I've written most of them. I mean, I wrote the Iron Man one complete. I filmed the Iron Man one. I just have to refilm it because that was like 5 years ago. I filmed a video with 2 people from 2 years ago about Scooby-Doo and drag / transphobia. And I haven't released that video, and I feel weird releasing it now after those people have aged several years. I mean, I have as well, but I'm at least like, I know what I look like. Similarly, I mean, I just interview, man, I gotta stop doing this. I interview people for videos, and then I just don't commit to a release date. And then I just have their interview on my hard drive for like 4 years. Hey, Big Dario, thank you for the follow. I threw a like for the algorithm, appreciate it. As a bigger kid, I was always Tum Tum, but wanted to be Colt. Man, didn't we all want to be Colt? I was always Tum Tum as well. But that's just because I'm the youngest of 3 brothers, so I didn't have a choice in the matter. I was Tum Tum. My brother above me was Colt. Brother above that was Rocky. That's just how it goes. Man, green's my favorite color. Green and purple, but there's no purple 3 ninja. There's only green, blue, and yellow. And I like green. But I can't be Rocky. I always thought it was cool that Colt's whole thing, you know, he was blue, and then like immediately wasn't. Because he spray painted himself white. So cool. God damn, has it already been that long since those vids? Yup. It's been so long. It's been so long. Release the Scoob files. I have so many. All right, is everyone ready? I'm pretty sure we've lost most viewers now. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's the risk you pay. Or, no, you don't pay a risk. You take a risk. That's the risk you take. Current viewers. All right. Ready for what? We're ready for spoilers. We're ready for Supergirl spoilers. Should I leave this up? Yeah, why not? It doesn't matter. Is Shapiro the Hulk, the Hulk Hogan of Mega Mountain? Hell yeah, he is. I haven't even finished my fridge cigarette yet. All right, we're transitioning into spoilers. All right. I'm going to throw a light one out there just for people who don't know, who are still hanging around. I tweeted about this, not tweeted. I blue skied about this. I posted about it on Blue Sky. But a thing that I find very odd that they changed is that in the comic, if you've not read it, one of the coolest things that they do is Ruthie and Krem are just two people on this planet. And these two people do not know that aliens exist outside their world. So imagine if it's just like you and your worst enemy on Earth. And then suddenly, through an alien who looks like you and just so happens to be on your planet, aka Supergirl, suddenly you both are thrust into the vastness of outer space, into this beautiful, bright, complicated, enormous world of aliens and alien cultures that are all intermingling, that all know about each other, and it's just news to you. Right? I thought this was interesting. Sounds wonderful and terrifying. Exactly. And those are the two things, and that is Mopey, you're hitting on it exactly. Those are the two things that happen to each character. Krem stumbles upon this world. He accidentally steals Supergirl's spaceship. He doesn't intend to, like in the movie. He's just, going to find a spaceship to steal because they all know that aliens exist and they're all part of this big, vast world. And he's already a brigand or whatever they're called. And and he just stumbles into Kara's spaceship thinking that it's just like a structure that he can find cover in, and then it accidentally takes off because she had programmed it to take off in the next couple of minutes so that she could she could get out of there. I think she was drunk, right? She was drinking, and so she's like, I'm not safe to drive, so I just programmed it, autopilot, it's gonna take off in a couple minutes, and then she misses it, Krem gets on, he's burst into outer space. And in so doing, Krem of the Yellow Hills experiences the vastness of the universe and all these different all this alien life outside of his own planet, and he sees it as, a sort of a playground. He sees it as a playground for himself to really unleash his darkest ambitions. He is just a weapon out in the universe, and he'll make deals with anyone to be like, I just want to kill things. I just want to kill things and burn places down to the ground. And if you tell me that there is a whole universe where I can do that, then I'm going to do it at a scale I've never even thought possible. It's like he sees the vastness of the universe, and he's like, I feel big. I feel like I can do more damage and destruction than I ever thought possible. This is very exciting. I feel big. Whereas Ruthie sees how big the universe is and has these really tender moments of reflection with Kara about like how it's so big and they're so small. Like she feels so small in the scheme of everything. So again, you have these fighting, these opposing views. Krem is like, I feel big. This is awesome. This is my playground. And then Ruthie says, I feel small. This is terrifying. And it's just so weird that the movie decides to not do that. And instead it's just like, yeah, Krem is already a part of like these alien pirates that just go and cause havoc around the universe and just are evil. And Ruthie also already knows how to she already knows about aliens and how to get to alien planets and bars and things like that. And also that Ruthie's dad is like well known throughout the universe for making weapons. It's just a weird choice. Because it hits on these things. It it just doesn't do the things that I thought were so moving. Because again, I'm talking about like as a perspective of a father, as I sort of said this earlier. Like I really felt like in those moments, because it comes back twice. It's not like a small thing. It's like a recurring theme of Ruthie saying like, you know, it's so big, we're so small. Talking about, yes, the universe, but also just talking about like just like the problems that they're trying to solve, right? There's lots of different issues where they're trying to solve different problems. They're trying to solve like racism on a planet that goes beyond racism. It goes to straight out genocide on a planet. And it's and Ruthie just saying like these problems are so big and we are so small. This universe is so big and we are so small. And it's one of those moments where I was reading it and I was like thinking about our baby boy, and I was thinking about how like, I don't know, it was just like moving. Oops. Disconnected my headphone wire. It was just like really moving and like really resonated with me in that moment of just like seeing him and being like, you're so small, you know, and the world is so big. And like as a parent, what you want to do is like sort of like protect them from the world, you know? But then it's also in these moments where Emily and I have talked about it too, where it's like our jobs as parents is basically to prepare them to not need us, which is also like sad in its own way. I don't know. It's like these moments that just had me like reflecting of like new parenthood and stuff. So I don't know. That was like the first thing in the movie where I was like, why would they do that? Those are such like tender character moments. I don't know. It was just so strange. Is anyone still out there? Chat hasn't been moving in a bit. So, just want to make sure. Am I talking to no one? It is possible. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So that was like one of the things that I thought was weird, that they changed. Lobo, I thought was fine. One of the things I didn't like about Lobo is that at the end, okay, this is a thing too. They weaken Supergirl so much in this movie. Like, and I don't mean like overall, I just mean like there are moments that like every 15 minutes, she's like, she's either like in a red sun, in a green sun, she's been poisoned, she's been affected by kryptonite. It's like every 15 to 20 minutes, it's like, oh, here's another, she's weakened again, and you have to watch her fight weakened and stuff like that. And it's like, I get that, a couple times, but the one time it like really annoyed me was in the final fight when she's fighting and Krem hits her with kryptonite like arrows and she gets poisoned. And I'm like, why in this moment would you do that? Because this is the cathartic moment where we need to see her like really unleashed. She's already been weakened for most of this movie in a lot of areas. Just let her unleash finally. Like, she did it a little bit on the bus, on the space bus, but like, I want to see her like full on, like, wreck these guys. And then they weaken her again. And it was just so, and then to top it off, and then how do they fix it? She's about to die, or at least get injured or what have you. I think she's about to die. She's about to get killed. And then how do they do it? Lobo comes out and saves her. It's like, hey man, I feel like rule number one of any sort of female-led superhero movie, is don't let the super girl at the heart of the movie be saved by a man that kind of undoes a lot of stuff that you were trying to set up there. So, like, it was so weird, because, like, you could have just had her unleash all of her powers, and then also Lobo is there just to cause more chaos, because it's fun to watch these little space pirates get all, you know, I don't know, effed up. I don't know why I'm censoring myself now, but there you go. It would be fun just to have that all chaos on screen. It was just such a weird thing to just have her be constantly weakened and poisoned and all this stuff. It's so strange. I don't like it. Day is dead. Today's Thursday, right? Yes. Okay. I usually have something at like 4, and I realize it's like 4:40, and I'm like, oh no! But that's at 4 on Fridays. That's fine. You don't have to stick around for the spoilers. That was the whole point. What did I think about The Last Needle Drop the Middle cover? I didn't hate it, but I wish we had a good score instead. There were moments before then that we had a good score already, like in that fight before in the circle, in the middle of the circle. There were great score moments during that. So I didn't feel lacking. I didn't feel like the movie was lacking in terms of score. In those moments specifically, I was like, hell yeah, this score is good. Hell yeah, Supergirl's theme is so good. I will defer to Emily on this, who just kept saying that she saw the vision. Emily was like, I see the vision. I see the vision. I think it's fun. And my wife's opinion is the only one that matters. So that's that. The constant depowering of Supergirl was my biggest gripe. It was basically like every other scene. It's like they give Superman kryptonite poisoning in Superman, right? But that is like one part of the movie. And it's like a big plot point. It's like a big plot point in that movie. Like, it's sort of like the big turning the tides. Like, he has to even heal from it and take time and like fully recover and things like that. But other than that, he's just Superman. And if he's weak, like he was at the beginning of the movie, it's just because he was got beaten up. They didn't just keep poisoning him. So it just felt weird that they just kept poisoning and weakening Supergirl. Once or twice, I get it. Like, fully get. She starts the movie on a red sun. She needs to find a yellow sun to get her powers. That's fine. That's how the comic does it. That's fine. But then, like, the constant, and even the green sun, you know, again. But this was my frustration with the green sun. I'll read your super chat in just a minute, I promise. This is my frustration with the green sun. In the comic, they use Supergirl on the green sun planet as a way to further and deepen like Ruthie's storyline of like Ruthie, who's now been like sort of carried throughout this adventure by Kara and her powers, has to now sort of fend for herself against like dinosaurs and giant monsters on this planet in the comic book. And we don't really get that at all in the movie. She just immediately gets captured without like even like proving anything. Like that whole issue is supposed to be like a very big growth moment for Ruthie, and they just don't use it. Martian, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I get why Ruthie isn't the POV anymore, but they took away most of her character. I'm sad the hand washing scene isn't in it. Oh, God, the hand washing scene. She's my biggest disappointment personally, but I love Millie as Supergirl. I agree. I love Millie as Supergirl. This is the other thing, too. And we'll talk about these. I know it's like nitpicking. It's like nitpicking stuff, but again, I liked it. So I'm not going to say like, I hated it. It's all nitpicks. That's my biggest thing the reason why I just liked it and I didn't love it is just because the comic book is so good and they got rid of all these things. So the hand washing scene, absolutely. Another one for me is the fact that, again, spoilers, we already know this, I put spoilers in the title, but in the comic book, it's revealed that Crypto was fine the whole time. Crypto was fine the whole time. I could be remembering wrong, but so in the movie, Supergirl doesn't understand the doctor or the healer or whatever, the alien that's trying to heal Crypto, and Ruthie is translating for Supergirl, which again wouldn't make sense because Ruthie shouldn't know alien stuff. She should only know her own planet stuff. But anyway, in the comic book, because like in the comic book, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think like it is Supergirl, like Ruthie isn't even there when the doctor's telling them about like the poison and stuff like that, but it's rather like Supergirl is like, the doctor said there's, you know, Krem probably has an antidote on him and we have to go save him. And then it's revealed at the end that like that just wasn't true. Kara saw in Ruthie that this is a person who, a young girl who, much like Kara, was going through something traumatic, and Kara wanted to sort of guide her and steer her on the right path and say, like, I want to make sure that her trauma doesn't define her. I want to make sure that her trauma doesn't turn her into something or make her do something that she's going to regret, which is something that the movie does touch on, I think, in the final moments, in the final scenes with Ruthie and Krem, of like, I want to make sure, you know, like, don't do something that's going to change you forever. Don't take a life because you can't undo that. Just, you know, and so it's Supergirl trying to protect Ruthie from that trauma and sort of be the guiding hand that I think Kara wishes she had growing up that she never could have because of her own circumstances. And so like the revelation at the end of the comic that like, yeah, Supergirl didn't need to be here for any of this. Because you're thinking as the reader, well, Supergirl only agreed to do this with Ruthie because she wants to get the antidote for the poison that is poisoning Crypto. And that makes sense. That's a logical, you know, like, we immediately understand that. That's like setting the table stakes for the storyline. Why are these characters doing this thing? It makes sense. Then to find out that it's a totally different reason, a more nuanced reason, it's just like really nice. It's like really, really heartfelt, and it's just a really nice touch and a really nice layer on Supergirl's character, where it's just like you start understanding that she's not doing it for self-serving reasons, right? She's not just here to get Crypto's antidote. In fact, she's not there at all for self-serving reasons. She's only there to sort of guide and serve Ruthie in those moments, which I think is just awesome. Which I thought it was just a really cool beat. I'm trying to think of the other stuff. Obviously, no Comet, but that's fine. That's like a deep cut comic book thing. I'm fine that they cut that. Totally chill. There's a lot of storylines that they sort of cut and a lot that they introduce for some reason. Yeah, like Lobo, obviously. Like it's hard to call it human trafficking because they're not humans, but you know, like the trafficking of people was a weird storyline that they brought in. I'm sure it may have been briefly part of an issue of the comic, but it wasn't like the whole thing. It wasn't like Krem's whole thing. How did I find Lobo? I sat down in my seat in the movie theater, and then he just showed up occasionally on screen. So that was cool. That was easy to find him. I thought he was fine. Oh, sorry, I forgot to go. Mopey, were you around when I was showing off my new soundboard buttons? You'll love them. You'll just love them. Why was Krem eating so much? Yeah, that's also a good question. I don't know. How did I find Lobo? I thought he was fine. I just thought why was he here? That was my main question, is like, why is he here? I saw someone, and I typically don't like to engage in like the whole like rewriting of a movie. But I did see someone say that it would have made more sense if they were going to do this thing where Ruthie already knows about aliens and like goes into a bar to say like, hey, all you different aliens, help me find my dad, or not help me find my dad, help me find my dad's murderer, or the whole family's murderer in this case. I think in the comic it was just her dad, but help me find the person who murdered my whole family. It would have been interesting if Lobo was there in that opening scene and then was basically serving, it was like Supergirl and Lobo were like the two people, like the two people that were like, I'll do it. I'll go find the thing. But Lobo would like go off and do his own thing and then come back in occasionally, right? So Ruthie was still with Supergirl the whole time. It was still a Supergirl and Ruthie story. And then Lobo would show up and be like, yeehaw, I'm Jason Momoa riding a motorcycle and I'm going to kill some space pirates. And he would like come in and kind of like fuck some stuff up accidentally and kind of like serve as this force that would like sort of disrupt any leads that Ruthie and Supergirl, like a lone cowboy. Exactly. It's sort of, it would be like that. It would be like that. He would come in and do a bunch of stuff that wouldn't be productive, but it would feel cool, you know? And maybe he would do, you know, he would like actively kill a bunch of people, which is not good. And then sort of at the end of the day, but like sometimes he would make progress that Supergirl couldn't. And it was because he was doing a bunch of things in like a really shitty way, in a really dangerous way. And then at the end of the day, Kara had to make the decision of like, does she want to be more like Superman, this guy who's a big dork, but he is good and he does help people for good? Or does she want to be like Lobo, someone who might get the job done, but at what cost? You know what I mean? At the cost of maybe a lot of innocent lives. Maybe Lobo's actions. Maybe Lobo comes in and starts like destroying all these space pirates, but in so doing, he's so careless that he's knocking down buildings, and then Kara has to go in and like stop buildings from collapsing just to stop Lobo, or, you know, just to save innocent people, and she can't make progress on finding Krem because Lobo just keeps, you know, fucking some shit up. So it's like, I wish he was more intertwined in the plot, because when Lobo shows up, and I don't know if people who are still here haven't seen the movie and you're just like, give me all the spoilers, I don't care. But when Lobo shows up in that bar and he's like, hey, I'm looking for a brigand. And I'm like, okay, he's also looking for Krem of the Yellow Hills. Interesting. And he's like, I'm looking for this brigand. And I don't remember the brigand's name, but it wasn't Krem. It was like, I'm looking for this guy. His name is Big Paul. I'm looking for Big Paul. And we're like, who the fuck is Big Paul? Why are we just now learning about Big Paul? And it's like the plot of Lobo is like, I'm looking for this character that you have never heard of, but he's a part of this now. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so I feel like Lobo is just not worked into the plot very good. I'm looking for henchman Chad. I'm looking for other guy. I'm looking for another guy who you've never heard of, who's never been mentioned. He may have been on screen once or twice, but we've never given him a name until I said it out loud right now. We're looking for this guy whose name I made up. Ugh. It's so bonkers, dude. Lobo is here. Lobo's problem are your problems now. Exactly. I'm looking for last minute rewrite. That's basically what it is. I mean, Big Paul is the most important character in all of DC. You're right. When you're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right. He would. That is exactly. Strunmama, you were exactly right. Lobo was surprisingly fun, but entirely unnecessary. I fully agree. Because then, again, not to be like a whole, you know, Nando V Movies rewrite of the movie. Love the guy. No shade to the guy. I love him. He's a sweetheart. But not to be like a whole rewrite of the movie. But like, man, it would have made, again, like Lobo shows up, causes chaos, and is basically, I mean, I don't know, would that have been too similar to like the Justice Gang like showing up and fighting that monster, and Superman being like, you guys, come on. You got to take care of this monster the right way. And then the Justice Gang is all there like making Superman work extra hard because no one's caring about the civilians. No one's caring about the life of the creature itself. I don't know. It could be similar. Why not? But it'd be more fun because Lobo's there. Imagine Lobo. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be in even more dog drama now. Crypto should have been in actual danger. No, my point is Crypto should not have been in danger. Because the comic didn't make him in danger. It would have at least felt more in character. You are correct. It would have felt like Lobo's there causing chaos. And then at the very end of the movie, right? Supergirl's letting loose, killing all the space pirates. Lobo comes in. He's also there causing more chaos, but this time it's fine because fuck the space pirates. And they're like on their own flying ship on an abandoned planet that has nothing but space pirates. So rather than Lobo going in this town that's just trying to survive as all of their like children are being kidnapped and all the women are being kidnapped, and like he's just destroying buildings that, you know, need to be standing. People live there. Rather than that, now it's fine. Now Lobo comes in at the end and it's awesome. And it's like, hell yeah. Where do I think Lobo goes from here? It would not surprise me in the slightest if they were like Lobo miniseries, like Peacemaker. Can they do Jason Momoa's kiss makeup every week? I mean, if they can do the Penguin guy, whose name escapes me, if they can put him in prosthetics every week, they can do him. They can do Jason Momoa in kiss makeup. Why not? Yeah, Lobo's storyline may as well have had a giant neon sign that said set up for a spinoff. And that's also kind of frustrating because James Gunn like very specifically said that like these movies are right now like being, they're not supposed to set up spinoffs. They're just trying to set up the world. But like Lobo really did feel like, everyone look at me. I'll be back later. I'm going to do my own thing later. Just be introduced to me. You'll see me again soon. Colin Farrell. That's the right one. Yeah. If they can put Colin Farrell in Penguin, prosthetic makeup every week, they can get Jason Momoa. I have a question. Were those Jason Momoa's real arms? Because they were enormous. They looked bigger than any other time I've seen Jason Momoa's arms. Hey, he played Aquaman. And he was pretty big in Aquaman. But his arms in this movie, that's a whole other level. It would not surprise me if they just put fake muscles on him, a la League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I'm going to keep bringing up League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. The best kind of spun-off character is those that leave you wanting more, not ones with the author's intention to do so. The SpongeBob inflatable arms. That's what it looked like, but were they real? Though? I am curious. I don't know. I agree. There are a lot of characters in like movies and TV shows that like they were introduced just out of nowhere, and then you're like, man, I want to see more of them. Hey, thank you so much for the super chat. That's awesome. I appreciate that. That's awesome. That really helps out. If you're enjoying the stream, Emily and I are trying to afford daycare/nanny for our little one. If you missed the stream earlier, we have, thanks to the 12 people who have subscribed on Twitch, we were able to do an extremely part-time nanny, 4 hours a week right now. So they came today, and I was able to get 4 hours of work done and stream. Huge for me. So The help really is awesome. And if you're already supporting on, Nebula or Patreon or anything like that, don't worry about it. You're good. You're good. But I've been enjoying these streams as well. Considering he's a mainstay in Superman lore, Lobo really is in the need of a series. It would be fun. It would be a much higher budget than something like Peacemaker if Lobo's going to be doing space alien stuff every week. And they have to have really interesting set designs and creature designs. Be a bigger budget. But I guess they don't have to treat it like a Western, sort of like he's in a different place every week. But that is kind of the fun part about Lobo, though. It's kind of just fun to watch him just go from place to place. Yeah, Joker. We might have a daycare spot for September. Yeah, that's kind of how we're feeling, too. Daycare's rough. Daycare's rough to get in. I'm trying to think of what other elements of the comic that I like that the movie didn't do. I mean, otherwise, it's just, again, like the comic is like a different story, like a different location, a different beat every 1 or 2 episodes. The comic did, and I'm fine with this change. The comic was like set over the course of months, which helped Supergirl and Ruthie get to know each other better. I have to talk about Supergirl's backstory in the movie. Her origin story. In the movie, obviously, it was only set over the course of 3 days, which is fine. I don't mind the ticking clock. That's cool. The ticking clock is fine. It makes more sense, if in the comic, if you're trying to get an antidote for crypto and it takes months, it's like you can kind of piece together like, okay, maybe he doesn't need the antidote. 3 days makes a lot more sense. The Lobo series should be 2D, not CG. That's also a good idea. You can still get Jason Momoa for the voice if you want. My thing about Jason Momoa is he does seem to be having fun in the role. So I'll give him that. Do I think the Rotten Tomatoes score is accurate? Well, I just feel weird that, I talked about this earlier, I feel weird that it's the critics were so mixed on it. But the fans are pretty, verified audience. Sorry. Stop. There we go. Top critics, even lower. All critics. Verified audience, all audience, about the same. Yeah, it's like weird that the audience is higher, because normally it's like the other way around. But, I don't know. I think it's just a little weird. But, to each their own, I suppose. Yes. Let's talk about Kara's origin story, and then I'm going to bounce, because it's 5 now. So Emily will probably be coming home with baby Button soon, or if she's not already home. She might be home. I hear her upstairs. Live action Lobo, very stagecraft. The spatial void is Xmas slice on black velvet. Oh, I think she said she was here. It left me a little bit confused because her parents felt sympathetic, but wasn't Jor-El a fascist in Superman 25, but he warned the council. Yeah, a little bit confusing there. They sort of did that. This was the thing, right? A lot of people were saying, I remember when Superman came out, a lot of people were saying, well, why didn't Supergirl warn, Clark that, like, this is what they did. Like, this is what Kryptonians are about. They're about conquering planets and things like that. And I remember James Gunn saying, like, hey, man, that's just what Superman's parents are about, In the same way that my parents believe some stuff that I'm sure your parents don't believe in, and, it's not a representation of what all Kryptonians are about. And this movie does hammer that in, right? Supergirl's parents are like, they make a comment about, like, oh yeah, they sent off their son, Kal-El, to, like, conquer worlds, and they sort of make, like, a little, not a quip, but just sort of like a reference of just, like, yikes, like, it's definitely not something that they agree with. Just to sort of hammer that in. I was really hoping for them to bring up Kara being older than Clark back on Krypton before getting to Earth. This was my thing that I got confused about, and Emily and I sort of disagree on this. So the reason why they changed Supergirl's backstory, so if you're here and you haven't seen the movie and you're here for all the spoilers, if you are, so they changed Supergirl's backstory. Rather than her being older than Clark and then being sent off also in a spaceship just like Clark and then like getting trapped in the Phantom Zone and like not aging and then being sent like to Earth afterwards and then like kind of being technically younger than Clark because of sci-fi. I know that the people who have worked on the movie, I think even James Gunn said like they just wanted to avoid the use of the Phantom Zone because the Phantom Zone is confusing, right? They're like, the Phantom Zone's confusing. We're already putting all this lore on people for, for believing not only Krypton exists and exploded, but that a city on Krypton was, put in a bubble, and then that existed on its own, and then Supergirl got shot off into space. So what they did for the movie is they basically said Supergirl wasn't born until Krypton already exploded. And this city, Argo, that was broken off from Krypton and exists in its own little bubble in space to save as many Kryptonians as they could. She was born there like 8 years after Krypton exploded. I find this not great. It's frustrating because like I get it. They're like they want to avoid the Phantom Zone, and so they need a reason why Supergirl is younger than Clark, and so they can't just make it so that Supergirl is older than Clark, and then somehow arrives on Earth younger than Clark. I think they still could have. I think they could have just said like, hey, due to like weird time dilation, she's younger. But all right, if you don't trust the audience to like follow along the storyline, it just sort of nerfs her trauma a little bit. Like in the book, it is so devastating and so heartbreaking to hear her talk about like, because she even says the line from the comic in the movie where she says, Krypton didn't die in a day. The gods would never be so generous, right? Or something along those lines. The gods would never be so kind. And it's because Kara has lived to see the entire planet explode. Then in a little safe bubble that was lifted from the planet and has all the survivors in it, or all the survivors that they could have, in it, and was thriving for a little bit. Then that started to go under as well due to, kryptonite poisoning, and people started to die. And so like the planet that she knew and loved died, but there was this little bubble of hope. And then that little bubble of hope burst. And then there was, then she's sent to Earth as like, she's the last one. So she has all of this trauma that's so specific that Clark doesn't. Clark has his own trauma, absolutely. But this is like, if you're talking about like someone who has survived her planet and her species, like someone who knows the people that died on that planet. And then knows the people who died on the city that later, it's like, it is so traumatic in a way that's like hard to put into words. I think it's impossible to put it into words. It's just devastating. And they sort of like nerfed that a little bit to be like, no, she didn't even know Krypton. She didn't even know Krypton. She just knew Argo. She just knew the city. Just pause time on Argo for some reason. I don't know. I see again, like, I just think you could have just said, like, hey, due to weird time, she took a weirder path than Superman, went around a sun a couple times, and then by the time she showed up, due to time and space, time dilation, sci-fi, she was younger. Time progressed while she stayed still. Her not knowing Krypton kind of puts her on a similar boat to Cal. This is what I'm saying. It's like hard. It's really hard for me to like listen to her be like, you don't know anything about Krypton. Like, I miss Krypton. It's like, girl, you didn't know Krypton. You knew Argo, which is like fine. Like, I don't know Earth as a whole, you know? I know the places that I've lived in. I've only ever lived in one country. That's even, you know, bigger than a city. But it's like weird for her to even say like, you don't even know Krypton. When she even says like in the movie, she says like, I didn't even know that like Argo was a part of another thing. Like she just grew up on this little bubble city floating out in space. And she's like, I didn't even know that this was just a chunk of something bigger that had existed before me. So I don't know, just like inconsistency in that regard. And Argo didn't seem great. I don't know. Argo had a little puppy on it. Argo had a little puppy. That's pretty good. Could have had Argo temporarily survive in the Phantom Zone. And this is the other thing about the Phantom Zone. Like, I get it. You're throwing in like one too many sci-fi concepts for people, one too much like chunk of lore. But it's also just funny that like in the comic, the Phantom Zone is like it's also like important. Like it's also like the way that they sort of defeat Krem of the Yellow Hills is they put him in the Phantom Zone. So it's like, it's not like you're introducing, if you were writing the movie, it's not like you're introducing the Phantom Zone for no reason, just because, oh, it has to be applicable to the comic book. Like it has to, it has to be, accurate to the comic book. But it's like, it's also like a part of the plot though. So you're not just introducing this concept for no reason, just because you want it to be accurate to the comic. You're introducing it because, number one, it would be accurate to the comic, but also it plays a part. That's a Chekhov's gun. You mention it, and then it comes up later. Also, what is it with Kryptonians and cities and vessels? Yeah, that's also true. That's Brainiac's whole thing. That's going to come up again. They could have used 100 different reasons other than the Phantom Zone to explain the age thing. I agree. I fully agree. I mean, like I said, they could have literally just said time dilation. And they wouldn't even had to explain what time dilation was. They could have just said it. I guess if they're doing that Salvation prison planet, it's weird to also quickly introduce that Superman has his own prison dimension, but it's fine when he does it. That's true, but you don't even have to say that Superman has access to the Phantom Zone. Just that Kryptonians did. You know what I mean? Female Kryptonians age at different rates. Wow, I solved it. That's funny, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of ways it could have worked. It's not just that the Phantom Zone is one too many sci-fi concepts. The term Phantom Zone sounds goofier and more fantasy than sci-fi, at least to me, someone who hasn't read many comics. That's fine. I think what everyone has been saying in the chat, including me, is that you don't even have to use the Phantom Zone if you don't want to. Part of why I love Kara and find her so fascinating is the levels of trauma that she has gone through. Yeah, I mean, it is like the biggest thing that separates her from Clark is that she knew the planet. Right? She knew the planet that Clark didn't know. She knew the people on it that he never got to meet. Like, she has memories of it existing, whereas he has ideas and concepts. You know, she has actual lived experience. And I think that's so powerful. Phantom Zone is a pretty normal thing, all things considered. I mean, it's just the way you deliver it, right? It's the way that you write around it and deliver it. You can make anything sound normal. If you've got the right actor and the right, script, you can make anything sound like, oh yeah, that exists. You could say Lobo's after a guy named Big Paul, and I'd be like, oh my God, yeah, Big Paul, I hate that guy. I feel like if they think the audience would get hung up on Phantom Zone, they don't know their audience too well. I understand. Here's what I will say about, and this, we can end the conversation here, but I will say I understand that you're introducing Krypton, you're introducing Argo. Do you really want to introduce a third thing for the audience to like understand, just to get the backstory to propel it forward? To that I say, like, I get it. I understand that for a movie. Is there a way to still do it and have it make sense? Absolutely. And have it not be like really superfluous and like really just like, and here's another thing, and here's another thing. But I don't know, to me, like and here's another thing, and here's another, that's like part of what makes it devastating, is that she lived through all of this. They could write the Phantom Zone into the Lego Batman movie, but not the Supergirl movie. Oh, did they? I forgot. Did they do that? That's awesome. What a good movie. The dynamic is also strange and lovely to think of, sorta. She is feeling a duty, and then she is free to live for herself because the baby is all grown and feels responsibility towards her. I came out on my birthday, so I naturally saw it twice, and the second go around, it goes fast in such a thrilling way. Yeah, I want to see it again. Argo was hit by weird gravitational waves. Done. Solved. Mopey solved it. You solved it. Do I have a button for it being solved? No. I only have buttons for things going wrong. I have a bell. It's kind of boring. But that's what I got for you. Then again, maybe the Phantom Zone thing is too Once Upon a Time. Emma and Pinocchio and Disney sent them a cease and desist. They invented the Phantom Zone, DC. Honestly, it does make me sad because part of the reason I love Superman 2025 was an embrace of some of the more weird and silly parts of the comics, but then the Phantom Zone is too weird and out there. I don't think that it's too weird or too out there. I think they just saw it as, oh, and then another thing we have to explain to the audience, like back to back to back, rather than like piecemealing like the weird parts and being like, oh yeah, this weird thing is totally normal. We just have to like space them out by 15 minutes and introduce another weird thing and it'll be totally fine. I think it's more so just that they have to do them back to back in one origin story sequence. So I get the need for like, I want to trim the fat a little bit. I want to cut some stuff out. So I get the desire to do that. But again, I just feel like that is so integral to it. It just erases like her not being born on Krypton. It's so weird. Maybe the Phantom Zone were the friends we made along the way. That's true. Can't believe we saw Big Paul on screen before Tiny Ron. Tiny Ron. Love that guy. I think they want it for the future, probably. It wouldn't surprise me. This is what I'm saying. It wouldn't surprise me if a future movie had a Phantom Zone in it. I don't think they're opposed to the concept of the Phantom Zone. I don't think they think it's too weird to throw in these movies. I just think they probably thought it was, again, like too much. Too much to introduce to an audience all at once. I hope Supergirl gets a shot at another movie at some point, but I'm not sure what story I'd want to see. Yeah, I agree. I think Millie Alcock is spectacular as Supergirl. I think she's wonderful. I'd say easily the best part of the movie. I would say Lobo is like in terms of performance and who I want to see, like Jason Momoa as Lobo is like just under that. Only because it just seems like he's having fun. Like Creme of the Yellow Hills. I don't know the actor who plays Creme of the Yellow Hills, but like I would be so bummed if I was like signed on for that movie to play this like really interesting character from the comic, who is like cartoonishly evil, but in a way that makes sense. Like they give him a motivation to be cartoonishly evil because like he's introduced to this whole universe where he thinks there are no consequences and he can just do whatever he wants. So like it's like more interesting in that way. And then you get the script and it's just like, you're cartoonishly evil. It's like, okay, yeah, because of the thing in the comic. I'm like, no, you're cartoonishly evil because we need you to be for the plot. And it's like, oh, so my character's less interesting now. Yeah, Big Paul's probably third. So Supergirl, Lobo, Big Paul. Those are my top three. The actress who played Ruthie was also fine. It's just like, who would I want to see more again? I don't think we'll see Ruthie again. I mean, we're obviously not going to see Creme again. So that's not even on my list. We need a Captain America to Winter Soldier level glow up for Millie's Supergirl. Yeah. We need like the next Supergirl movie to be like, hell yeah. And I'll sort of end on something that my wife said, who's also in the chat, who also just said, it does feel like it was pruned for the sake of emphasizing on specific sadness rather than like this deluge of sadness. I would agree with that. I'll end with something my wife said, which was that Supergirl, I think people were expecting, like Superman, to be sort of revolutionary in a way. Like Superman wasn't like literally revolutionary, but it was like a movie that people were talking about. Because remember, Fantastic Four came out around the same time as Superman. And, you know, I made a video about this. I made a TikTok about this. In the very few moments I remember to use TikTok as a place to basically just make video versions of things I would tweet if I was on Twitter. You know, people were reviewing Fantastic Four, but people were talking about Superman, right? Like Superman was like a phenomena of last year. I feel like, I don't know if it was just my household. I feel like it was just, I don't know if it was my timeline, my feed, my algorithm, but like Superman was everywhere. Fantastic Four was like, yeah, it was a good movie. You know, reviewed, done. But Superman is like, people were talking about Superman. And I think that's sort of the difference. And I made this analogy too. I don't think I made this analogy publicly. I feel like, remember how when the MCU came out and we had Iron Man, first movie, Iron Man. Now that was a revolutionary superhero movie. When it comes to comic book superhero movies, I do believe Iron Man was probably quite revolutionary in its take on that whole genre. And then it was followed, I believe that same year, or maybe 1 year later, but I think it was that same year, by Incredible Hulk. And Incredible Hulk was fine. Incredible Hulk was fine. I like Incredible Hulk. I like Supergirl. In the same way that Iron Man was like, whoa, you gotta watch this. And then Incredible Hulk was like, you can watch this if you have time. That's like sort of how I feel about Superman and Supergirl. I'm like, Superman, you gotta watch Superman. Supergirl, I'm like, you can watch Supergirl if you want. It's fine. That's how I feel about these movies. I feel like it's very weird that the critical score is so low. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's fine. And something Emily said, I've been dancing around it, but something Emily, you know, sort of kept saying, which I also agree with, is like, it's frustrating for female-led superhero movies to have all this pressure to have to do so well and have to perform so well and have to be perfect. in order just to be seen as good. You know what I mean? They have to be perfect to be seen as good. And in some ways, Chad, it's pretty good analogy for what it's like to be a woman in a man's world in general. You gotta do twice as much work for half the pay. So that's sort of frustrating. Yes, it is a normal movie. I agree. It's a fine movie. I do want to watch it again. Supergirl just feels very phase 1. I've been saying, like, it's messy, not bad, not great. It's figuring it out. That's a great way to put it. It's a movie that's a little messy, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I think it's, I think the only reason I was like a little soured on it is just because it's based on a comic that is so good. If it was an original story and they just made a Supergirl movie the way that they made Superman, just like an original story, and the way that they make most superhero movies these days, like original stories, just take characters and mash them together and make an original story, like that'd be fine too. But yeah, just the comic is so good that it's hard to compare it to the movie. It makes the movie feel worse than it actually is. You think the adjustments to the story were the messy bits? Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where the movie doesn't feel as cohesive as it could. Let media be mid again. Mid-budget, mid-good, etc. Make it feel like I'm just playing with action figures in my bedroom as a kid, not retelling beloved stories. Sure. I mean, but then, of course, you get in the sloppy, messy side of that, too, where you're suddenly making all the Star Wars stuff. It's just like, what if these characters met? What if everything was Luke Skywalker still? What if Luke Skywalker fought Darth Maul? And it's like, all right, you can do that, but you also just gotta like tell a good story, though. What meant a lot to me was there was a lot of young girls being brought out of the theater when I saw it, and their smiles were so big. They were so happy bouncing around, and leaving the movie being able to do that means it did what it needed to, at least in my eyes. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Did you say, what if Luke Skywalker fucked Darth Maul? I didn't, but I should have. What if 800 years ago, Force Cult? You can't wait to hear my opinion on Supergirl on my podcast. It's probably not aliens. Erase continuity, let meta texting dissolve. Yeah, I've always said, if you can tell a good story and it breaks continuity, break continuity, baby. Give me a good story. Give me a great story. You know, if you give me a good story where Batman's parents are still alive and you somehow make that work and it's a good story, break that continuity, baby. All right, let's end with a game, and then I do gotta go. I know I said that like 25 minutes ago that I gotta go. We're gonna end on a game. Let's do Poople and maybe Marvel Duel. We've not done this game on stream, but it's a good game. The point of this game is we have to spell the word poop, but we can only change one letter at a time. And we have to do it in the shortest amount possible. So we can probably say pano, like panorama. Do you think it'll accept that? No. Nano. What can we even change this to? Nay. I'm looking at all the letters on the keyboard. I guess I have a keyboard on screen. No, I can't say no, because I can only change one letter at a time. But I appreciate the help, Emily. No, you're good. You're good. Can no fit? No. No. I don't even know what fits here. Can we do NATO? No. Nino. Nani. Nope. Mano. Okay, that got us at least to progress. And then we can do mono. I like where your head's at. Hold on. And we can do mono. We got that in there. And then we can where do we go from there? And then we're out of ideas. Okay, so we probably shouldn't have done that then. Mono. Mont? Like mountain? No. Bono? No. Monk? And then... And I don't know where I was going from there. Ponk. That's not a word. Is that a word? I guess it is. I don't know what that word is. Can we try? No. What does this word mean? It makes me feel like it's a slur. I don't want to say it out loud. Look, loop, poop. Oops. That's the one, gang. Where's my buttons? Where's my song buttons? Easy peasy. All right. We did it. Alrighty. I've already done today's Minute Cryptic. Let's do the Marvel deal, and then we are out of here. Speaking of MCU. All right. What's a good first one? I like doing Hulk. I don't know why. I just tend to do Hulk first. Male is correct. Everything else is not correct. Oh, I have to shrink this a bit. Oh, no, I just have to close my sidebar. That's right. So, a male, not superhero, could be villain, could be agent, could be anti-hero, could be anti-villain. Not a human mutate, has none of these powers, might have no powers. Who knows? Not from Earth, though. Not affiliated with Avengers or Revengers. The Collector is a good guess. Oh, type is unknown. Very good. Oh, let's put the music back on. Unknown. We don't know. We know nothing about. You know what? Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and say maybe Collector is a bad guess in general because they're all unknown. Maybe collector's a bad guess just in general. We don't use collectors anymore. But movies specifically. Movies, male. The more we know. Yes, we're figuring it out. You've been trying to sleep for 40 minutes and just now thought of the best Jeff goal. If you're trying to sleep, why do you listen to me? No, it's okay. I know people tell me that they listen to my videos to fall asleep, and I know it's a compliment, but it does not feel like one. That one blue guy with the hammer. Ronan. Anytime we get 2 green in a row, I'm like, we did it. We cracked the code. Guess today's character. We got male, villain, not Kree. Has at least some of these powers, so we know that they're not like a normal bystander. They at least have some power. We know it's not strength. We know it's not resistance. We know it's not regeneration. So they have the power of energy. We know it's not these 3 because these strength, resistance, and regeneration are all in Hulk's, and at least one in his. All in Hulk's, and we know that none of those he has. So this person, this male, this guy, this dude, this fella, this little guy has energy powers. Origin. That's a big guess, though. What is challah? It's a delicious type of bread. Is at least connected to Kree or accusers. Is in the movies. You just came back to say ambidextrous. I appreciate you. Connected but not Kree. Yeah, not Kree. Could be connected to the Kree Empire or the accusers. Uatu. Is Uatu? That doesn't feel right, but we'll give it a guess anyway. Yeah, not a villain. That's okay. We get a clue in one guess. I was fine hitting Uatu. What's his face? The perp. Not Thanos. Thanos is from Titan, so not Hala. Hale. Hala. I mean, this would be so easy if we knew anyone else from that planet. It's got to be one of the people from it's for sure one of the people from Captain Marvel. Right? Or wrong? Cuz they're Kree too, right? And this person is not Kree. You can't think of a not Kree from this. That's what I'm saying. What is this button? I don't know what that button does. No, that's no one. Talos. My boy. Supporting. Oh, that's right. We learned that supporting was a character type. All right, we get a quote. Your commander insists that you're fit to serve. Your commander insists that you're fit to serve. Could be one of Thanos' other commanders. Yon-Rogg. Oh yeah, remember that guy? No. No. But you got that right. We know it's Kree Empire then for sure they're affiliated with. It can't be Marvel. Because that's Lady. Proxima Midnight. I don't remember Proxima Midnight having a single line of dialogue. And is female. We can't keep forgetting these basic things. Supreme Intelligence. Would that be male or would that just be like robot? And would it be villain? I guess. Uh-oh. I think we've done it. Alrighty then. We have one more to do. And it is the Oops, I don't want to register. It's the comic one. And then we are out of here. Oh yeah, I always like guessing She-Hulk for this one first. I don't know why I guess Hulk first, but I like She-Hulk for this one just because She-Hulk gives us, she's like kind of in the middle-ish of like after the 60s, most of the 70s, and then, I don't know. She-Hulk's a good guess. She-Hulk's a good guess first, okay? Female superhero, human mutate is at least one of those. I'm gonna guess this is a person who has no powers and that they're just human and have no powers and are from Earth and are from before 1979. What if this was Uncle Ben? What if this was just Uncle Ben? And then he would be supporting that superhero, just human. Before 1979, Uncle Ben fits all of these. So this is a good guess. Oh, can you, I mean, look how close we were. What a good guess, though. What a good guess. What a good guess. All right. Is an old character. This is like a either 1960s, 61 or like 50s, 40s character. This is like a, and it's not supporting, so it could be villain. This is like a, well, it can't be Red Skull because they're just human. This is just like a normal ass guy. This is just a normal ass villain. Was Zemo an old one, or was Zemo when Captain America was reintroduced? And does Zemo have powers, or is Zemo just a regular ass guy? Now hear me out. Cap did punch Adolf. You're right. You're right. Is Adolf Hitler? Do we try? Is there a different Zemo? No, it's just the one Zemo. Did we try with the Zemo? It's just the one Zemo. Let's try. I mean, they were good guesses, but no, I guess this Zemo, I was thinking of like old Captain America, like 40s Captain America. Do we literally just try Hitler? Nope. Hitler's not there. Not villain or supporting or superhero. Are they an agent? An anti-hero? An anti-villain? The only other three categories I've seen come up are agent, anti-hero, or anti-villain, which is hard to parse what an anti-villain is. Was Nick Fury before the 60s? Do I just not know that about Nick Fury? Didn't Hawkeye start as a villain? Yeah, but I think that was in the 60s. I mean, I guess we still have 2 years left of 60s, but... Well, we'll try. Do we try Nick Fury? We'll try. Oh, we were so close. Oh, we were so close. Oh, man. Hold on, I hit my button, but it didn't play.
What if it were true?
Oh, we were so close. It has to be a Nick Fury, but from 1950 or 1940. Who's a Nick Fury from this era, from way earlier? Oh, type agent into search. That's actually a good idea. Let the game work for me. No, that didn't work. Agent 13 is for sure older. Like in terms of date. I had to get the name hint in order to get it. Oh, this is like a character no one knows about. Not Sherlock Holmes. This is gonna be rough. Bucky Barnes existed and is a male, more of a hero, but it will at least help us out with our date a little bit. Well, they wouldn't let me do Bucky Barnes. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it's not that old. I just wanted Bucky. I didn't want Winter Soldier. I want to be clear. I wanted young rascal Bucky Barnes before he had all those powers. So it wasn't a bad guess. The game just made me do Winter Soldier. There's gotta be someone who is like a staple of like fucking Namor's storylines. And it's like, yeah, Namor would talk to General. I almost just said General Paul. I guess Paul is the name that I go to, and I just think of a guy. General Big Paul? Is Big Paul a part of it? Big Wheel is. General. Sergeant. Captain. Well, it's just all going to be those captains. Private. No. Soldier. Mr. President. I know Bucky and Winter Soldier are the same character, but what I'm telling you is I wanted to select Bucky before he had all those powers, not Winter Soldier after he had all the powers. But they wouldn't let me. Jimmy Woo. Gang. We did it. We did it as a community. All right. With that, chat, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. I love doing these live streams. They're very fun. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed on Twitch. It really helps out as we can afford some daycare and some nanny stuff for our little one. Thanks for all the support through all the technical issues for hanging around. I have had so much fun. I am excited to stream later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.